So in this video I'm going to be painting this Van Gogh. It's kind of an expressionist piece, and I'm going to do that. So I'm going to speed it up. It did take me about an hour in real time, but I have speeded it up, so it's obviously a lot quicker than that. But I think you can slow it down or pause it where you need to. And here I am just outlining the main parts, and as you can see, Van Gogh has an outline on his paintings, so that's absolutely fine to kind of leave them in when you're painting, filling it in. It's a bit like colouring in. And on that note, let me just say, before I get started, I just wanted to talk about my new colouring book. As some of you know, I already have a Monet Flowers colouring book, and I'm pleased to announce I now have a Van Gogh one. Which is available in both paperback and hardback. These colouring books are a really good way of learning art without the expense and the mess that comes with painting, whether that be oil painting, acrylic or watercolour. All you need is some good quality colouring pencils. You can still learn a lot about art. You can learn about the value range and the depth of colour saturation, mixing colours even. With these really good pencils, which I'll link below, you can even layer to increase the saturation and depth of colour. You can learn a lot just by looking at, you can see here, you've got the artist's real picture and then the colouring in picture. So you can learn a lot about their style just by studying the way they've painted when you're colouring in. You can learn a lot about the colours that they've chosen, and of course the value range that makes the lights pop when you use the appropriate dark sort of next to it. So it's a really good learning curve if you really want to get into art, but you just don't have the money for or you just don't want to take the chance of spending all that money on equipment when you might not actually even really get into it that well. The hardback is more expensive, but it is really nice, but it's also available in paperback. So if that's something you're interested in, I will link the links to both these books below, and also the colouring pencils that I used in my demonstration earlier. Okay, right, let's get on to the painting. The colour palette on this painting was actually really simple. I didn't even use a green. I normally use sap green. I used instead cadmium red, which you can see me using now, with cadmium yellow, which I sort of used to orange it a bit. I did use Naples yellow, which is that kind of very creamy yellow. I used ultramarine blue, which was how I created the green using the yellow as well. And I did use black. I also used an alizarin crimson to get that darker red that you can see in those red flowers. I used a bit of alizarin crimson, and then I used the cad red for the highlights in those flowers. And of course I used titanium white. But I tried to keep away from the black too much because I feel that it's a dead colour. People talk about that a lot, and especially where you want a bright painting, you can mix sort of the French ultramarine blue with alizarin crimson, and you'll get a kind of a nicer, more vibrant dark there. And I used obviously the French ultramarine and the yellow to get a darker green, where you can see on the left those dark green sort of leaves, those very angular looking leaves there, so that it's not actually black. You're not looking at black there. And then it's just a case of blocking in, and where I lost those dark edges that Van Gogh has, I just restated them again later. So it kind of actually went like, it's a bit like a child's drawing where you like those sort of dark outlines. I really like that actually in Van Gogh's work. I find it really, I love it. It adds quite a lot of energy to the painting, and it's like a childish thing to do, but his paintings are far from childish. They're actually really sophisticated. Back to the style, actually, the other thing that's worth mentioning is that I really used just neat paint. I didn't use any medium. The only time I used medium was to just slightly loosen the dark that I drew the outline with, where I used a little bit of refined linseed oil so that I could get like a more of an inky texture. to draw that outline. But once I actually started blocking in the background, and you can see that orangey foreground, that was just patches of pure paint. Sometimes it was mixed, sometimes it was just the colour that it came out of the tube. And you know, it was just adding it in patches, and that's what gives those sort of variations in colour and that kind of energy and life to the painting, is to just vary those patches in the background and the foreground. And again, when you come to the flowers, and I find that when you're doing the flowers, you must have at least 3 different shades or colours to make them come alive and have that vibrancy. If you're just doing, say, a darker yellow and then adding a highlight with a bit of titanium white, you're still going to get quite a flat effect. You need to add other shades and colours and values to those flowers to really make them pop, and you will see that's exactly what Van Gogh does in his paintings. And honestly, that is true of all oil paintings, floral oil paintings, or in fact in any other medium. You know, you're tempted to just sort of vary the light and the dark of the same colour. That doesn't work. You really need to add your cools and your warms and even other variations in colour, because petals are extremely complex, especially the way the light comes through them, and so they can look like they're made up of many colours. And that is how you bring, even if you were doing an expressionist piece and a piece straight from your head, where you're not actually copying a subject, if you just remember that, your painting will be dramatically improved over someone who's just doing a 2-dimensional sort of painting, and they think, you know, oh, a red rose is just a red with a highlight or a red with a dark in the center. You will find that there is a lot more complexity to those colors. And if you remember that, even when you're doing an expressionist painting straight out of your mind, or fauvism or any of those things, then that will bring your painting to life, you know, compared to somebody who just doesn't know that little nugget of information. And then the last 2 things I'm going to talk about before I just put on the music and you can finish watching the painting. You can mute the music if you want, but I don't want to yak all the way through. But the brushes. So I started off obviously with quite a thick solid brush, and it was quite a stiff brush, which helped add quite a bit of texture to the painting, which I think is, you know, what Van Gogh did. He has a lot of texture on his paintings. So I used a very stiff bristled brush, and that's how I got started. And then as I had to add more details, as you can see the details on the vase, as I started to go in with smaller details, I did use this smaller brush. Now this smaller brush is actually softer, and where I wanted to add a nice line, I did use the medium again to sort of get that looser but still quite viscous, inky texture on the paint. And that was because that then I could get a nicer sort of line, like an ink line, that I like, that one I just did there, that I was trying to achieve, which you can't do with a stiff paint and a stiff brush. It would kind of break up. And if that's the look you're going for, that's fine. But if you want that kind of thick, I wanted the texture that came with the thick brush. I love those actually quite stiff brushes. You can't really use them for portraits, well, unless you're going for that look. Yeah, I mean, you can. It depends on the style, I suppose, you're going for. But if you want that smooth skin, you're going to need a smooth brush. I mean, there, it's right there. If you want texture, whether it be in the background, petals, vase, whether it be in a landscape, of course texture's great in a landscape, then a stiff brush is, as a rule of thumb, going to be good for you. If you want a smooth line, or if you want smooth textures and you don't really want a lot of texture, and you want like when you're doing skin or something like that, or porcelain, then you know you might want to go for the softer brushes. So really, and that's really all I got to say on this video. Of course, if you have any questions, just pop them in the comments below and I will answer them for sure. But that's it for this video. I will play the music. You can watch to the end. All I'm doing is doubling down now until I get the finished piece as close to Van Gogh as I can. And just to be you know, just to be clear, I'm pretty sure Van Gogh took a little bit longer than an hour to paint his painting. He did definitely put a lot more effort into some of the details in his brush strokes than I did, but of course this is just for demonstration purposes. I still made a really beautiful picture, which is also for sale on eBay, and I'll put the link for that below if you want it. And yeah, as I say, let me know if you want any questions answered in the comments below. And if you like the video, please subscribe and click the notification bell, and I will see you again soon. Not sure what I'm going to do in my next video. Might be, I can't decide whether to do another floral or a landscape. I guess I'll just have to see what takes my fancy. But I will definitely see you again soon. Hope you liked the video and hope you found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe, click the notification bell and all the rest of it. See you again soon. Bye.